iPhone 16 and 16 Pro are coming and they're gonna be jam-packed with features. One of the biggest changes this year is gonna be the size. All Pro iPhones displays are gonna get bigger. The 16 Pro will get a 6.27-inch display and 16 Pro Max will grow up to 6.86 inches. And I can't say that I'm fully on board with this simply because the 15 Pro with a 6.1 inches is kind of perfect fit for me, and I personally don't need a bigger phone, and luckily the phone dimensions are gonna stay largely the same with only a few extra millimeters. Also, the display technology could change to micro lens. To us users, it means even higher brightness and even lower power consumption, so theoretically, we could see the brightness going way over 2000 nits that the 15 Pro does now, maybe up to 3000 or higher, which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. All these display and size changes are going to be reserved only to Pro models, with the regular 16 and 16 Plus sticking to the same 6.1 and 6.7 inches. But don't you get sad, because the 16 and 16 Plus might finally get the high refresh rate displays after all these years. The sources, however, aren't clear on the exact refresh rate of the new iPhones. Some claim them to get 120Hz like Pro iPhones, while others speculate about 90Hz being the most likely choice. In both cases, this is going to be huge. Design-wise, the 16 Pro models are expected to stay largely the same, just a bit bigger. Same titanium, frosted back, all the good stuff. There's just one question that I'm dying to know the answer to. Will there be new colors? The 15 Pro comes in 4 great colors, blue and natural titanium being the signature colors, so could we expect new colors? Maybe red titanium, or purple titanium, or who knows, green titanium. Green could be really nice. Remember the green iPhone 13 series? It looks so sick. Anyway, there's also one more feature that's apparently coming, capture button. This is a part of a bigger leak about solid-state buttons that initially were rumored for the 15 Pro, but never arrived. Since then, the leakers agree that this new tech could indeed arrive with the iPhone 16 Pro. It is expected to replace buttons with haptic motors, like what we saw on the iPhone 7 and 8's home button. That button didn't move, but the haptics gave the impression of a click. It's not a very useful feature to have, if you ask me, but it could be a step towards better water resistance. As for that capture button, it could be located below the power button, right where the millimeter wave antenna is on the US models. Feature-wise, it's not clear how it's going to be used. The action button is not going anywhere, so this begs the question, why another button? With the action button, we already can launch the camera, take photos, videos, and there is no point for Apple to give us a button that's gonna have the same functionality. My guess is that it could be like buttons on cameras, where with a light click serving for focusing and a firmer one for actually capturing the shot. What's interesting is that leaks claim that this button is gonna arrive to all iPhone 16 models, not just the Pros. And if we take into account the leaks about the new camera placement on the 16 and 16 Plus, the button starts to actually make sense. Remember the Vision Pro and its spatial videos? The 15 Pro already can shoot them, but the regular 15 cannot because of its camera arrangement. If it gets changed, then the button could be something like the press to record spatial videos button, which could be useful. Oh, and the action button is coming to standard iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. No big deal. We already saw what it can do on 15 Pro, so I'm excited for it to become available for even more people. It's just such a cool gimmick. If you want to see how I use it, be sure to watch our long-term review. Now, let me come back to that one question. Will the iPhone 16 be getting a new camera placement? And yup, cameras on the 16 could be arranged vertically, allowing for recording of those spatial videos. Again, this leak is based on documentation and CADs, and the possible look boils down to 2 options, like on the iPhone 12 and like on the iPhone 10. But the most interesting camera changes for sure are coming to Pro iPhones. The 16 Pro is rumored to have a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and I cannot overstate how big of a deal this is. All the way since the iPhone 11 Pro, the ultra-wide was the worst camera of the iPhone. Even the 15 Pro, with all its processing and an advanced sensor, simply doesn't cut it in terms of detail. So if Apple could find a way to use a 48 megapixel sensor for it, we could expect much better low light performance, more details in all scenarios, and even 48 megapixel Pro RAW. This might just be the improvement we've all been waiting for, and though I'm not a huge user of the ultra wide camera on my iPhone, I still very much appreciate these changes, because the reason I don't don't use it that often is because of that quality drop when compared to the main sensor. But even still, this is not the best part, because the 5x zoom will become available on the base iPhone 16 Pro, and this is a much bigger deal than the increased resolution of the ultra-wide camera. I've said many times that 3x on the 15 Pro is a very usable and generally versatile zoom option. However, one thing always stood out to me. What's the point of having 2x and 3x? They're just too similar. The 5x on the 15 Pro Max showed how impressive the zoom can be on iPhones, and if it wasn't for the size, I would have been rocking the 15 Pro Max now. And if these rumors come through and the 16 Pro will get 5x zoom, to me this would be enough to upgrade. And this is still not the end, because leakers and analysts believe that the 16 Pro Max this year is gonna get a super zoom instead of the 5x module. Any photographer watching this will surely get shocked, because usually this term is used for lenses with a focal length over 300 millimeters. To put it into perspective, the 5x module of the 15 Pro Max has only 120 millimeters focal length. If we do the simple math, assuming that the focal length of the standard 1x module on the 16th Pro Max will stay the same at 24 millimeters, then the approximate magnification number will be 12.5. I think Apple will round it down to 10x, but that is still a monumental feat of achievement for Apple. 10x in iPhones. Just a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but now it doesn't seem like a far fetch. As for the regular iPhone 16, there basically are no rumors regarding its camera, so let's just assume that it stays the same. Frankly speaking, I don't know whether I should even start talking about performance and processors, because here everything is pretty clear. You don't need to be a leaker to know that the 16 Pro will get the A18 Pro chip, and the 16 something a bit weaker than that. There are a couple of rumors that are kind of conflicting, but with enough stretching can be quite viable. One leak says that the iPhone 16 will have a processor designed specifically for it, and is gonna use a different manufacturing process. However, Jeff Pu paints a different picture of all processors using the same N3E technology, but being slightly different in architecture. He says that all processors will be named A18, but honestly, it doesn't really matter, since the iPhone 15 with its A16 is blazingly fast and doesn't really need an upgrade. The same goes for the A17 Pro. These are very powerful chips, and there is no doubt that Apple will give them a little boost in performance and efficiency, but we shouldn't expect to see anything crazy. And since I'm talking about performance, I simply cannot ignore a very exciting battery leak. Apparently, the 16 and 16 Pro are gonna use a stacked battery technology, which is supposed to be even more efficient, have lower temperatures while charging, support up to 40 watts of charge, and even have a slightly bigger capacity. How do we know that? In November, we saw a leaked photo of a battery that we assume is from the 16 Pro, and indeed it has a different design, updated connector, and slightly higher capacity. I think even if it will give us an additional half an hour of battery life, it would already be great news. Don't know about you, but to me this seems like a very decent upgrade. Even for people using the iPhone 15 Pro, I cannot wait to get my hands on it and test it all out. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to see my full review of the iPhone 16 Pro. And while we are waiting for the September event, be sure to check out our video about the iPhone SE 4, because that phone might be even crazier than you think. And see you there.